Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz, your host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, we got a brand new Raiders mock draft, my 3.0 for 2026. But this mock is going to be like a mock I've never done before. We're going to be doing a 7-rounder on PFF. This one, though, features a Maxx Crosby trade. Throughout the years, I've done so many mock drafts. This year, I'm going to do a lot of mocks. And because we are always going to take Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall, I know, spoiler alert, I'm trying to find fun ways to make these mocks a little bit different. So yes, you're going to see a Maxx Crosby trade today. But I want you all to hit that subscribe button if you do want to see more Raiders mock drafts, especially, I don't know, for me personally, when I consume content as a fan, I don't want to see the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm always going to do my best to mix it up a little bit. Also, I'm going to be at the NFL Combine. We're going to be getting exclusive content there that I don't want you to miss. If you're looking for draft analysis, free Raiders videos, and I've actually met Fernando Mendoza. That should be a good enough reason to hit that sub button. So here we go. As it stands right now, the Raiders have 10 picks in total, which you can see up on screen. The number 1 overall pick. Then you got 4 picks in the top 102, 6 picks in the top 4 rounds, 2 picks in the 6th round, 3 picks in the 4th round. I'm going to go through every single one of these picks and tell you who Klint Kubiak and the Las Vegas Raiders are going to end up going with. So let's go to round 1. Pick number 1. It's going to be Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback. This guy is a Heisman Trophy winner. He is a competitive dude by nature, and I can't wait to see what he looks like in the silver and black. I am already sick and tired of the NFL national media giving every single reason why the Raiders shouldn't draft him or why Mendoza doesn't want to come here. And I feel like they totally forget that we're going to have the amount of money that we do in free agency to go out and spend to be able to give Mendoza a lot of the tools that, yes, we definitely need. But winning is contagious, and I want the Raiders to go out and get him because I do think he can make any throw on the NFL field. I believe he's got elite accuracy on all types of the levels. Hell, the ice in his veins, elite against pressure. I think he fits with what the Raiders have right now with Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers. And if you were to tell me the perfect quarterback for a Klint Kubiak system, I do think it looks a lot like Fernando Mendoza. I'm a believer he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. I believe he should be the number 1 overall pick. And I believe that that's going to be the future Raiders quarterback because he's somebody that's shown me growth. Yes, his first 2 years at Cal were okay. It's that leap forward that he made with Curt Cignetti in Indiana going 16-0, winning a national championship. And the fact that he literally didn't turn the ball over in the red zone the last 2 seasons is extremely important. And some people might poke fun at some of the numbers that he put up at Hard Rock Stadium against that Miami Hurricanes defense, but that was essentially a road game. And the picture that you see up on screen was just effort. And that's what Mendoza is going to give you every single day of the week because I need a quarterback that does the most he possibly can. And Fernando Mendoza is always going to do that. A franchise quarterback makes every single other player around him better. And that's what Mendoza needs to do for the Las Vegas Raiders. So let's now go to round 2. Pick number 36 here for the Las Vegas Raiders in this mock draft. But you know what? We got some big time breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders are trading away Maxx Crosby. The phone lines have been ringing. We didn't know where he was going to go. And the Los Angeles Rams said, hey, we want 98. We want the Condor to join the silver and black. So the Raiders are moving on from Max. The Los Angeles Rams are sweeping on in, and they're going to go get him. Why does this trade end up happening? It was reported by Adam Schefter on Wednesday, February 18th, that the Raiders are looking for 2 firsts and a starter. That apparently they're looking for a Micah Parsons level type of deal. I don't think that you're going to get a Micah Parsons level type of deal, but I do wonder, could a team like the Rams be interested in going out and getting somebody along the lines of a Crosby to help get them to the next, stature. They got to take care of business against Seattle. You got Devontae Adams there, who's been recruiting Max to the Rams, and maybe that's a way that they can convince Matthew Stafford to come back for one more season. So here's the trade that I ended up doing. If you want 2 first-round picks, This is what I honestly think it's going to end up being, because pick number 13 compared to pick 29 is much greater value when you look at it from top to bottom in the NFL draft. So the Rams get Maxx Crosby. And I'm just telling y'all this right now. 2 firsts for Max. I think, honestly, you're going to have to throw in a 4th-round pick. So what I decided to do, we got 3 fourths. We got 102, 117, and 134. We're going to split the middle here because I think getting 2 first-rounders in this year's draft helps out the Raiders. I think it also helps the Rams go all in to try to win a Super Bowl. So here's what we're looking at right now here for Las Vegas. That means now we got pick 13, we got pick 29, we got pick 36. This is how you get a rebuild going in the right direction. So from top to bottom now, we got 11 picks in total after the Maxx Crosby trade to the Los Angeles Rams. So let's go to pick number 13 now. But before we actually do go to pick 13, let's walk you through what the picks look like as it stands right now. Fernando Mendoza went number 1 overall to us here for the Raiders. Ruben Bain Jr. to the Jets. Arvell Reese to the Cardinals. David Bailey to the Titans. Caleb Downs to the Giants. Sonny Styles ends up going to the Browns. At number 7, Carnell Tate to the Washington Commanders. Jeremiah Love to the Saints. Peter Woods to the Chiefs. Francis Maui Noah to the Bengals. Malachi Lemon to the Dolphins. And then Mansour Delane to the Dallas Cowboys, which means here at pick number 13 in our Raiders mock draft, the Silver and Black have decided to go with Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah. He's played left tackle and right tackle, but the past 2 seasons at Utah, he did a really good job at right tackle. I know the Raiders have been a little bit up and down, and I still, when I make this show, I hope that the Raiders invest in their offensive line of free agency. But if you trade away Maxx Crosby, you better invest in the trenches to the best way of your possible ability. And I think if you honestly move on from Max, it probably means that maybe you missed out on something in free agency and you need to take advantage of it in the draft, at least in my mind. So I wonder if the Raiders were to do a trade like this, maybe they missed out on a tackle in free agency. But you get a dominant run blocker and a Klint Kubiak offense that's going to help out Ashton Genty, and it's going to help out Fernando Mendoza. Let's go to pick 29 here in round 1. And deciding I went offensive tackle in the trenches, so now I'm going to go with the defensive side of the football. You trade away Maxx Crosby, you better figure out a way to replace him. And I'm going to go with Akeem Mesidor, edge here for the Miami Hurricanes for the Silver and Black. I watched Mesidor go up against Fernando Mendoza in the national championship game. His ability to get after the quarterback, it is very, very impressive. But for you and as an organization, Malcolm Kuntz is going to be a free agent. You just traded away Mad Max. You go out and you get Akeem Mesidor, who's done a lot of good things for that Miami Hurricanes defense. You put him on the other side. You let him get north and south, and you tell him, hey, I need you to go out and get after the quarterback. He had 12 sacks. He had 17 tackles for loss, 63 tackles in total. But watching him play in the CFB in those playoff games, Ruben Bain's the best edge. But Akeem Mesidor is also a hell of a football player with an extremely, and I mean an extremely high motor, which cannot be undersold because, again, you're moving on from Max. When you move on from Max, I need somebody that can help replace him at edge with a high motor. I also need leadership qualities, which is where I'm going here in round 2. Pick 36, I'm going to go linebacker C.J. Allen from Georgia. When you look at a lot of what scouts say about Allen, well, the top thing that they say is this guy is a leader, he's a team captain, and he's a big, big focal point of that Georgia Bulldogs defense. Because the Raiders have so many needs at the linebacker position, Landon Roberts, Devin White, Jamal Adams, those are our top 3 linebackers. They're all testing the market. They're all going to hit the open market, and I don't want any of them back. So 87 tackles, 4 PBUs, 8 tackles for loss. You're adding one of the best linebacker prospects. I think that he should go in round 1 personally. So the fact that I was able to get him here at number 36 is great. But it's also the leadership qualities because you're not just trading away Max. You're also trading away literally the leader of that defense. So C.J. Allen is going to help us here with that regard. Let's go to round 3. Pick number 67 in my mock draft. And I'll be very clear. I don't think this player falls to 67. But you know what? I had to take advantage of this deal because I didn't think it was a deal that I could pass up on. Elijah Surratt, wide receiver from Indiana. You go get Fernando Mendoza, his number one receiver with the Indiana Hoosiers. And I'll be real, I'll actually be really curious to see if Omar Cooper Jr. or Elijah Surratt ends up getting drafted higher. But for the Raiders, you got a lot of team needs, no doubt about it. And if you're the Raiders, you go out and get Surratt. You pair him with a Trey Tucker. You pair him with a Jack Besh. I do think it's still important for this organization to find another way to get a receiver for Mendoza. But I've done a lot of mock drafts in my day. I'll tell you this right now. This is my favorite first five picks that I've done in a Raiders mock draft of all time. And, you might be sitting back going, well, Mitch, when was the last time we had 3 first-round picks? I can tell you the last time we had 3 first-round picks. Wasn't all that long ago. 2019. Cleveland Ferrell, Jonathan Abram, Josh Jacobs. We can hit on these picks. So, again, if you're going to trade Maxx, you got to make sure there's a lot of hits in there. Coming up next, though, on my Raiders mock draft, we actually got another trade that's going to end up going down. I figured since we did one trade, you know what? F it. I'm going to do another. There was a player in the PFF mock that started to slide down, and he hit a certain spot, and I go, that's the player I want the Raiders to target. Quite frankly, it's actually turning into one of my favorite players for the Raiders to target in this year's draft. I'll get into that in just a moment, but before I do, huge shout out to today's sponsor of this mock draft. It's Panda Supps. Make sure that you use code Kubiak, Kubiak. It's our new head coach. If you don't know it, then I don't know if we're actually Kubiak. For 26% off at pandasupps.com. Anytime Panda drops a new protein, I'll always encourage people to try it because I've never had a bad protein from them. New strawberry ice cream, it's going to taste like, probably going to taste and sound just the way that you think of when you were a kid and you saw the ice cream truck coming and you could start to hear that music playing a little bit. I bet you that's what it tastes like. Just a good childhood memory. Also, though, Panda's got tons of other products out there. And if you don't want to just take my word for it, some of their best sellers, some of their new products, the Burn is awesome. The aminos to help replenish you after a good workout. Some of the best sellers, though, like I personally don't need pre-workout. Now, once in a while, sure, you guys kick my ass once in a while on this program, so there are times when I need it. But overall, if you need some pre-workout, if you need some protein, some BCAAs, if you're trying to be the best version of yourself, Panda Supps is here to help you. That link's going to be down in the comments. It's going to be down in the description of today's show. Pandasupps.com, code Kubiak for 26% off. Let's keep it moving here on our Raiders mock draft presented by Panda Supps. Now, I told you, we are getting ready to get into a trade, but I at least want to show you what the pick would be. This would be round 4, pick 102, and in the 4th round, we got to capitalize because we got 3 picks in total in this draft. But we got a trade alert that's going to end up going down. The Raiders are trading up into the 3rd round yet again in this mock, and there's at times where if certain players are there, I'm just going to try to capitalize, and I'm going to try to go do it. So this is actually the final pick in round 3. The Jags, they were still on the clock, and in order to get this deal done, I had to give them pick, it's actually 117 is what I had to give them. It was pick 117. Actually, no, it was pick 102. Yeah, I was going to say it. It's on me. Pick 102. We traded away 117 before with Crosby. I'm losing my mind. Pick 102 to Jacksonville. I should have just listened and saw what was up on screen. But, hey, we're rolling with the punches here. Pick 102 goes to Jacksonville. Also pick 184. We have 2 picks in the 6th round, so I figured let's give away 102, let's give away 184, and then that ends up getting us pick 100 in the 3rd round. The player that I decided to trade up for, which, again, I don't always typically do at the linebacker position, it's Kyle Lewis from Pitt. I watched a lot of guys at the Senior Bowl. I actually make the argument the best player at the Senior Bowl was Kyle Lewis. And I think because he dominated at the Senior Bowl, I mean, he was dominating running backs in one-on-one drills. He's dominating, like, tight ends. Like, his one-on-one tape at the Senior Bowl was some of the best that I've seen. And because the Raiders have so many different needs at that linebacker position, you look at one mold of a C.J. Allen. I think he could be your true green dot middle linebacker. And then you add Kyle Lewis into the mix, who offers you some of this hybrid ability to be a nickel linebacker, can drop into coverage really well, go east-west, does a lot of different things for you. But a good coverage linebacker compared and combined with C.J. Allen, I really, really like that setup here for the Raiders, which means now we have only one fourth-round pick at 134, and I was really kind of tossing it up. I didn't know exactly who I wanted to go with here, and I love this value, and I'll be clear, I do not think that Malik Muhammad is going to fall to pick 134, and that's kind of the hard part when you do some of these mocks. But if I got Malik Muhammad staring at me at 134, I'm going to take advantage of it because to me, he is such a freak at the cornerback position. For those of you who don't know, I live here in Dallas, Texas. I've seen some of these guys that play at DeSoto. If you're playing at DeSoto High School, that's like the best of the best down here in Texas. But it's the ability to do so many different things. Super versatile player. He's a big-time playmaker. Really, really good athlete. Does need to fill out a little bit. But I'm telling you this right now, if you want to roll with a defense that does go with a bunch of different hybrid looks with safeties and corners, Malik Muhammad is a name to keep in mind. Let's go to the 5th round here of my Raiders mock draft. Pick 174 overall. And again, we got so many different team needs. I wanted to be able to address the safety position a little bit earlier than what I did. But I'll tell you this, another player that I'm really, really starting to fall in love with for the Raiders is Bishop Fitzgerald, safety out of USC. Raise your hand if you want the Raiders to get a true center fielder, a safety that is a true free safety. It would make me nervous putting Fitzgerald back there a starter right away, draft him in the 5th round, but like the ball hawk skills are there. He's undersized. He might not be as good of an athlete as what teams are going to be looking for, but the other thing I look for when I watch defensive players, especially this late, is can he help on special teams? The answer to that is yes, probably he can. The other thing, though, Fitzgerald finds himself around the football. You could tell he's a smart football player. You could tell that he finds opportunities to take the ball away. And in Rob Leonard's defense, we need dudes that take the football away. So now let's go to round 6, 181. And reminder, we traded away that pick 184 to go up and get Kyle Lewis. I'm going to tell you who I took in round 6 and round 7 in just a moment because we got 2 more picks in this Raiders mock draft. But you know what? I know there's a lot of people that show up and show out every single day for the Raiders Report. And it's crazy to me, man, that we got over 218,000 subscribers that watch this show. We have built an unbelievable community, and I want more people to get Raiders Report gear. Not only does it help me, but I want a lot of y'all to get to know each other. We did an event a few weeks ago out in San Jose. One of the most humbling things I've ever seen, the amount of Raider fans that have never met in person before, but they were able to meet, chop it up. They was acting as if they've known each other for their entire life. I guarantee you this, if you're wearing this hoodie, T-shirt, you're at a Raiders game, a Raiders event, anything Raiders, if you're a Raiders Report watcher, I know that you'd go up to this person. Meet each other. Let's continue to grow this amazing community that we have. And if you want, go to chatsports.com/RRshop to get all of our Raiders Report gear. Let's go to round 6 here, pick 181. I'm going to go with a big boy, and I'm going to go with Cole Brevard. He's 6'3", he's 346 pounds, 14 tackles this past season with the Longhorns. And at the end of the day, I need another big body on the interior. Yes, we got Adam Butler. Yes, we drafted 2 players last season. John Ulalu's in the mix. We need to find a Christian Wilkins replacement, and I'm not saying that's Brevard. What I am saying is, though, I believe in investing in the trenches, and at this late in the draft, I look at all of the team needs, and I go, I want a big guy at 350 pounds. Let's go to round 7, 220 here for the Las Vegas Raiders, and I'm going to go with a little bit of an interesting route that I did not think that I was going to go, but you know what? I want to continuously change up my mock draft. So I'm going to go with Eli Heidenreich. He was the fullback for the Navy midshipmen this past season. What I like about him is he is a willing blocker. He is a really good football player, but he can catch the football. I know you're looking at the numbers, 77 carries, 499 yards, 3 touchdowns, but it's what he's able to do in the receiving game, which is what really sets him apart. And it's the reason why I wanted to go this route, because if I'm the Raiders, I know I got Ashton Genty. I know what I have there. So if I can add somebody who also has the ability to block, somebody who also has the ability to help us out here a little bit, because Raheem Mostert, that's a free agent, right? Zamir White, that's a free agent. At the end of the day, if I can get somebody who can catch the football at the level that Eli is able to bring it in, that's really important to me. So I was trying to find his exact reception stats. I couldn't bring him up, but I do know he's a hell of a football catcher. I know that he can really pound the rock when you give him the football, but I don't need somebody who's going to get a bunch of carries. I need somebody that can just come in, be a reliable running back when Ashton Genty needs a breather. So, grade my mock draft, y'all, 3.0. A, B, C, D, or F, and it's a friendly reminder that this trade, or this mock, did feature a Maxx Crosby trade. So please put that into consideration when you give me my grade down below. Out of all my mocks I've done, not going to lie to you, even though we traded away Maxx, this is by far my favorite.